A woman's voice trembles through the phone, broken by panicked sobs. "He's bleeding! Oh my God, there's so much blood!" Her breath comes in sharp gasps, barely allowing her to speak. The 911 dispatcher's voice remains steady, unfazed by the hysteria. "Ma'am, I need you to stay calm. Who is hurt?" A sob rattles through the receiver. "Nathan, he's dying." Every second drags, heavy with desperation. A tragedy is unfolding, but the worst has already happened. Nathan Cross lies motionless, his once pristine white dress shirt now soaked in deep red. The blood pools beneath him, seeping into the expensive carpet, staining the moment forever. His chest barely rises, or maybe it doesn't at all. His wedding night was supposed to mark the beginning of forever. Instead, it became his final chapter. Claire Donovan stands rooted to the spot, her mind unable to catch up with reality. Her hands are slick with blood, his blood. It clings to her skin, warm, thick, irreversible. Her wedding dress. A symbol of love, devotion, and a future, is now drenched in tragedy. How did it come to this? Her lips part, but no sound escapes. Ivy Donovan grips the knife so tightly that her knuckles turn white. The blade glistens, coated in red. A weapon she never meant to wield. Her wide, tear-filled eyes dart between Nathan's lifeless body and Claire's shocked expression. Reality crashes down in waves. This is real. This is irreversible. Her breath shudders. What has she done? The wail of sirens slices through the night, growing louder, coming closer. Flashes of red and blue dance against the walls, a warning, a reckoning. The sisters, once inseparable, now stand on opposite sides of an unspeakable crime. This isn't just a murder. This is the death of everything they once were. The present dissolves into a past that should have never led here. Before the wedding, before the betrayal, before the blood. A time when love, secrets, and temptation had yet to collide. But fate was already in motion, and some stories are doomed from the very first lie. Claire and Ivy had once been inseparable, sisters, best friends, confidants. But time had a way of reshaping things. Expectations divided them. Claire, the golden child, carried the weight of family pride. Ivy, the wild spirit, became the one who didn't fit. Their love remained, but the distance between them grew. Claire had been raised to be flawless, poised, elegant, the daughter who made her mother proud. "You'll have the life every girl dreams of," Diane would tell her. Claire forced a smile, knowing that happiness was never the priority. Appearance was. Her life was mapped out. No detours allowed. Ivy spent years watching from the sidelines. She wasn't the chosen one. She wasn't the daughter Diane showed off at luncheons. While Claire's life had direction, Ivy drifted, never quite belonging. She longed for something real, something that wasn't a performance for their mother. Love had never favored her. She was always the one left behind. Claire's engagement to Nathan Cross was exactly what was expected. A polished, successful man. A wedding fit for a magazine spread. Ivy clapped with the rest of them, but something inside her twisted. She wasn't jealous of Claire. She was jealous of the way Nathan made her feel. "This wedding is important, not just for you, but for all of us." Diane had built Claire's life like a carefully arranged chessboard. Every move, every decision, all leading to status, perfection, and control. Ivy, the wild card, was always a liability, but she never thought Ivy would become the biggest scandal of all. The engagement party was a blur, champagne, rehearsed laughter, and empty small talk. Ivy found herself alone with Nathan, a moment neither planned. A joke, a shared glance, a tension neither acknowledged. His eyes lingered too long. Her pulse quickened in a way that felt dangerous. Ivy hadn't expected his touch to last a second too long. Nathan hadn't planned to look at her with something more than polite interest. A thrill, a shift, a feeling neither could justify. A line neither had crossed, yet. But something changed that night, and there was no undoing it. Ivy stared at the message for too long. Just a friendly text, that's all. She hesitated, but curiosity whispered louder than caution. Thanks for the wine recommendation. You have good taste. A few minutes later, Nathan replied, I'll take the credit, but it was really meant for Claire. A harmless exchange. That's what she told herself. Coffee runs, errands, quick detours. They made excuses to be alone. Each moment stretched a little longer, like a game neither admitted playing. It's nothing, Ivy would tell herself, but she knew the way Nathan looked at her wasn't nothing, and she wasn't stopping it. A laugh. A glance held for too long. Nathan's hand brushed Ivy's wrist. Neither moved away. A whisper of hesitation lingered, then he leaned in. His lips met hers. It should have stopped there. She didn't pull away. He didn't either. And that changed everything. Every time Claire mentioned wedding plans, Ivy's stomach twisted. She started avoiding her sister, afraid of what might show on her face. It was a mistake, she told herself. But Nathan kept texting, and she kept answering. Because the guilt didn't outweigh the thrill. Nathan convinced himself this wasn't real. I love Claire, he told himself. But Ivy was different. With her, he didn't feel trapped. It was excitement. Escape. Nothing serious. Until he realized he thought about Ivy more than he thought about his fiancée. The secret meetings became routine. A glance across the room. A hand lingering too long. A text late at night. They didn't call it an affair, but they both knew that's what it was, and the risk made it that much harder to stop. Claire noticed Ivy's sudden distance. Are you okay? She asked one night. Ivy forced a smile. Just tired. But Claire saw the hesitation, the way Ivy couldn't meet her eyes. Something was wrong. She just didn't know what. Yet, Nathan's warmth turned cold. He seemed distracted, distant, like his mind was somewhere else. Claire caught him checking his phone, his expression unreadable, and when Ivy entered the room, he stiffened. Something wasn't right. Claire confided in Julia. Something feels off, she admitted. Julia frowned. You're sure it's nothing? Claire hesitated. She wasn't sure anymore, and that thought scared her more than anything. Claire borrowed Nathan's phone to check a dinner reservation. The screen lit up with a text. Ivy. I can't do this anymore, Nathan. Everything inside Claire went still. What the hell was this? Claire scrolled. Message after message. Secret meetings. Late-night confessions. Nathan and Ivy. Her fiancé. Her sister. Her world collapsed in an instant. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. She watched. She waited. They thought she didn't know, but she did, and she was going to make them regret it. Claire pretended to leave town. She knew exactly where Ivy and Nathan would go. She sat in her car, waiting. Her rage had turned cold. This wasn't betrayal anymore. This was war. Claire walked into the secluded cabin. She saw them. Ivy, Nathan, too close, too familiar. A slow, sharp exhale left her lips. Tell me I didn't just see what I think I did. Ivy went pale. Nathan opened his mouth, but had no excuse left. Ivy's voice cracked. Claire, Claire's expression remained unreadable. Nathan stammered. We didn't mean for this to happen. Claire let out a hollow laugh. Didn't mean to? Then what exactly were you doing here? Silence. No answer. Because there was none. Claire lunged at Ivy. Ivy staggered back, hands raised. Claire, stop! Nathan stepped between them, but Claire's slap cracked across his face. You were my sister, she screamed at Ivy. How could you do this to me? Ivy sobbed. I never wanted this. But you did it anyway, Claire spat. Nathan's voice was hoarse. We didn't plan this. Claire's laugh was cold. No, you just let it happen. You ruined everything, she whispered, and she meant it. Claire stormed out, but the damage was done. Ivy collapsed, knowing she'd lost her sister forever. Nathan stood there, silent, his fate sealed. And none of them realized that this was only the beginning, because the worst was yet to come. Claire walked down the aisle, a vision of elegance. Her smile was flawless, her posture poised, but her grip on Nathan's hand was rigid. Nathan squeezed her fingers lightly. She didn't respond. She wasn't here for love. She was here for justice. Ivy stood beside her sister, drowning in guilt. Claire had insisted she be here. Why? Each second felt like a noose tightening. Claire's gaze flickered toward her, unreadable. Ivy's hands trembled. She knows. She swallowed hard, unable to escape the weight of her own sins. Nathan felt Claire's gaze burn into him. She was too calm, too controlled. Something was wrong. He pushed the feeling aside. It's just wedding nerves. Still, his pulse quickened. What did she know? The walls were closing in, and he was trapped inside them. The reception glittered with laughter, the hum of chatter filling the space. Claire stood, champagne glass in hand. She tapped it lightly with a fork. The room quieted. Nathan's stomach clenched. Claire's lips curled into something that wasn't quite a smile. "To my loving husband, Nathan," Claire began, voice smooth, saccharine. Nathan exhaled in relief. Maybe he had been imagining things. "And to my dear sister, Ivy." His body tensed. Ivy stiffened beside him. Claire's smile sharpened. "Who always wanted what I had." Silence strangled the room. Nathan felt every set of eyes turned toward him. Ivy's face went ghostly pale. Claire's voice dripped with venom. "And to my husband, who gave it to her." A gasp rippled through the crowd. The truth had detonated. Ivy bolted from the table, shoving past stunned guests. Her vision blurred. "Run. Just run." Claire's words echoed in her head, suffocating her. She reached the hallway, gasping. But she wasn't alone. Nathan chased after her, gripping her arm. "We need to leave. Now." His breath was uneven. "She's not done." Ivy's heart pounded. She already knew that, but it was too late. Claire was already there. Claire's voice was eerily calm. "Tell me, Ivy, was he worth it?" Ivy choked on a sob. "Claire, please. I never meant. You never meant to get caught." Claire cut her off, eyes dark. Nathan stepped forward. "Claire, let's talk." Claire pulled a knife from the table. No one moved. Ivy stumbled back. "Claire, don't." Claire's fingers tightened around the knife. Nathan stepped between them. "Enough." Claire's jaw clenched. "You don't get to play the hero." Ivy sobbed. "I never wanted to hurt you." Claire's hands trembled. "But you did." Claire lunged. Nathan grabbed her wrist, struggling to hold her back. "You don't get to decide how this ends," Claire snarled. Ivy screamed. The knife slashed through the air, too fast, too reckless. The struggle twisted, desperate, chaotic. A shove, a gasp, and then Nathan's body jerked. He staggered back, hands clutching his chest. His white shirt bloomed red. Ivy screamed, catching him as he collapsed. Claire's breath hitched. The knife slipped from her grasp. The silence that followed was deafening. Nathan hit the floor. He never got back up. Ivy pressed her hands against Nathan's wound. "Nathan, stay with me," she sobbed. "Please, just stay with me." His lips parted, but no words came. His breath shallowed. His fingers twitched once, then went still. Ivy's sobs turned to screams. Claire stood frozen. Her hands, once manicured and perfect, were now stained red. She had wanted revenge. She had wanted them to suffer, but not like this. Her knees buckled. She had rewritten all their lives in blood. The distant wail of sirens sliced through the night. Red and blue lights flickered against the windows. Ivy collapsed, sobbing over Nathan's lifeless body. Claire's gaze locked on the knife. Her knife. No one would ever leave this night untouched. Some betrayals never heal. Some sins never wash away. The wail of sirens shattered the silence, red and blue lights flashing through the suite's shattered reality. Officers stormed inside, weapons raised, only to find no threat, only devastation. Nathan's lifeless body. Ivy, rocking beside him, her hands covered in blood, and Claire. Still, expressionless, unmoved. "Put your hands where we can see them." Claire barely flinched. The cold steel of handcuffs bit into her wrists. She didn't fight, didn't resist. Her gaze remained locked on the floor, the crimson pooling beneath her feet. Her vengeance had been exacted, but at what cost? Ivy watched her sister being led away, unable to move. This wasn't supposed to happen. Nathan was gone. Claire was a murderer, and she had set it all in motion. Tears streamed down her face, but no sob could fix what had been done. The media swarmed like vultures. Bride murders groom in wedding night horror. Social media exploded, dissecting every detail. Talk shows debated. Was Claire a woman betrayed or a woman unhinged? Outside the courthouse, cameras flashed, waiting for the final act of the tragedy. Ivy took the stand, hands trembling. She had to do this. Her voice cracked as she spoke of the affair, of stolen moments, of betrayal. Then the confrontation, the knife, the blood. She had loved Nathan, but her words were the ones burying Claire. Claire sat still, her face unreadable. Her lawyer's voice rang out. This was a crime of passion. She snapped. She lost control. This wasn't murder, it was heartbreak. The prosecutor fired back. She wanted revenge, and she got it. Two versions of Claire, only one verdict. The courtroom hushed. Claire stood as the judge's voice echoed. 15 years for manslaughter. She blinked. Once, twice, then nothing. No tears, no outbursts, only silence, as if she had accepted her fate long before the jury had decided it for her. Ivy tried to return to normal, but how could she? She woke to nightmares, Claire's screams, Nathan's blood, the knife flashing between them. Her name became a whispered scandal, the woman who destroyed her family. No city, no new life, no escape. Diane Donovan never spoke of Claire again. The house became a mausoleum of shattered memories. Claire's absence was a wound that never healed. Ivy, once the overlooked sister, now carried the weight of everything. No one won, and no one would ever be whole again. Some crimes don't require weapons. They fester beneath the surface, silent, slow, inevitable. The affair was just the spark, but the fire had been burning long before. Years of quiet resentments, whispered jealousies, and masked insecurities created the perfect storm. Claire, Ivy, Nathan, each of them played their part, and in the end, none of them walked away unscathed. Claire didn't wake up that morning knowing she'd take a life. Ivy never thought a stolen kiss would unravel everything. Nathan believed he could have them both, until the lie consumed him. They all thought they were in control, but fate had been writing its own ending all along. Claire and Ivy had once been inseparable. They laughed in the same breath, dreamed in the same space. But love is a blade that carves through even the deepest bonds. One betrayal, one moment of weakness, and everything they were ceased to exist. They weren't sisters anymore, just strangers, divided by blood and regret. No apology could ever mend what had been broken. Claire was locked away, but Ivy was just as imprisoned, trapped in the wreckage of her choices. The weight of their actions hung over them both, a wound too deep to heal, a past too dark to forget. Some betrayals don't fade, they only fester. Claire sat in a cell. Ivy walked free, but neither had truly won. Nathan was gone, and no courtroom ruling could bring him back. Diane Donovan stopped speaking his name as if erasing him could undo the scandal, but silence didn't change the truth. Their family was ruined. Their love had cost them everything. Nathan's last breath haunted Ivy. Claire would never forget the feeling of blood staining her hands. The world moved on, but they were forever trapped in that moment. Some crimes may end in sentencing, but they never truly close. Some mistakes follow you forever. Some crimes aren't premeditated. Some are written in the cracks of broken relationships, waiting for the right moment to explode. This was never just about infidelity. It was about love turned to hate, trust twisted into revenge, and the thin, fragile line between passion and destruction. Some betrayals can't be forgiven. Some mistakes can't be undone. No matter how much time passes, the bloodstains never truly fade. Claire, Ivy, Nathan. Their story didn't end with justice, only devastation, because in the end, some sins come with no redemption.